New documents have been released indicating that the federal government forced Yahoo to hand over personal data of all of its users back in 2008. And the way that they forced them to do so is they started fining them $250,000 a day for every day that they refused to hand over user data. Now, what's interesting about this story is originally the documents from this court case, because Yahoo did sue the government over this, those documents were sealed. We couldn't see them, we couldn't read them, but they just unsealed them. So now we can understand exactly how that court case went about and why it is that the government decided, or I should say the judges decided, that it was totally okay for government officials to pry into our personal lives, read our personal emails without a warrant. So the documents, roughly 1,500 pages worth, outline a secret and ultimately unsuccessful legal battle by Yahoo to resist the government's demand. So Yahoo thought, look, what the government's asking for right now is unconstitutional. There's no question about it. So we're not going to hand it to them unless we go to court and prove that it's okay to do so. The judges decided, you know what, no, this is constitutional. We're going to allow it to happen. And as a result, that was when the NSA said that they were going to start fining Yahoo for every day that they didn't give them the information. Yahoo decided to take the case to appeal, and even after appeal, it turns out that, according to the judge, this is constitutional. They can continue to ask for this personal information without a warrant. So eventually, most major US tech companies, including Google, Facebook, Apple, and AOL, complied. Microsoft was actually one of the few that had joined earlier before the ruling, NSA documents have shown.
Okay, so first of all, huge props to Yahoo. They did the right thing. They spent a lot of money taking the government to court to try to protect privacy. So now they caught a lot of grief in the beginning because it seemed like they just simply cooperated with the government and turned over everybody's emails, right? But it turns out behind the scenes, not only did they fight it, but then the government then gagged them legally and said they could not talk about how they fought the government, right? Even after it was the Snowden leaks revealed that these guys had cooperated with the government, they still couldn't say, hey, wait a minute, we fought this behind the scenes. That's why we're finding out only now, okay? Yeah. So now a lot of those other companies also fought them for a while. Apparently, Microsoft didn't.
Not at all.
So that does not speak well of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Well, they do call it $M$. They care about the money.
In Microsoft's defense here, fighting it while noble was a losing battle and a battle that could not be won, and Microsoft may have, we don't know. I mean, they may have literally fought it for a day and a half on the phone and then was like, we're going to lose. Everyone's going to lose, and so let's just do it.
That proved to be correct. Nonetheless, that makes me like Yahoo 1,000 times more than Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm just saying, without, like, in the end, it doesn't matter. And part of the reason why it doesn't matter is that like, this doesn't even, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I read this, I mean, this was the frickin' FISA court. Like, no one's won in the FISA court. They're 100 for 100, or 1,000 for 1,000, or 2,000 for 2,000, whatever it is. They get what the government wants. Like, they've literally ruled against the government something like 6 times in 11 years. Like, there's no winning, so you didn't even get to make this case to a real judge. Yeah. And the stupid irony of dicks like us is that we sat there for years and years arguing that George Bush should have gone to the FISA court. George Bush wouldn't even go to the FISA court. What were we arguing for? What would be the point?
Well, so in this case, which was during the Bush era, they go to the FISA court because Yahoo sues them, and the FISA court just gave the government blanket permission to read people's emails. It's not metadata. This is really important. This is not like, oh, who was emailing who, but we don't get to see the content. No. They got the emails. They got the actual content, and they did a blanket search. So it was, in the old days, when we cared about the Constitution, you needed a warrant for a specific person based on probable cause, etc., right? So now, no, you don't need probable cause. You don't need a specific person. Yahoo goes to court. FISA says, well, the government had serviceable safeguards. Where the fuck does it say in the Constitution, servable safeguards, and then you could just read everybody's emails in the country? It doesn't say that at all. So the FISA court is worse than a rubber stamp court. They actually ruled things that were clearly
That's
unconstitutional.
what I'm getting at, is that it's crazy that we think the FISA court is some sort of answer. It's not. It's a rubber stamp. It's like the Politburo.
I think at that time it felt like it would be something at the very least. At least he would be acting like past presidents had in similar situations.
No, look, well, George Bush going around it, whatever. He's criminal. Dick Cheney's criminal. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying that, like we got it wrong. Like they're yeah. Imagine Yahoo lawyers. These are elite lawyers that Yahoo has hired. And they get in there. Even if do they get to see the judges? Is that allowed?
I know, right? Are they behind a curtain?
Are they behind a curtain? And they're like,
masks.
What are we doing? I mean, that's why, in a sense, for Microsoft, I'd be like, Yahoo should call his friends at Microsoft. Be like, yeah, don't bother coming in. Like, don't. This is not worth fighting. You're just wasting your money and time. The system is rigged. And then how did we also believe the stuff about the emails? We're just seeing who people emailed and not the information in the email. And the same thing for the calls. I mean, what a preposterous notion. Yeah. Of course that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in the content. I don't think they're reading my emails because I don't think I have any words that have triggered anything, and they don't care and they don't have the manpower. But when they decide to read your emails, if they think they want to, like maybe yours, for a host of reasons, then they will.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have access to it.
They have access.
I have
they
a
can.
Yahoo account. I have a Google account, Gmail account. Google had to comply as well. They're threatened with a fine of $250,000 a day.
I fucked them. I started a Hotmail account last week.
Okay. They're like, damn it, we forgot about Hotmail.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Earthlink is safe. So. Look, this is exactly why the Founding Fathers put it in the Constitution and what we were worried about. If they have access to the private information of every citizen, you think that at some point government might want to abuse that? Somebody in the government, and by the way, also private contractors have access to that. Yep. You think they're not going to want to abuse it? You think they're not going to want to read the emails of their ex-wife?
Yeah, there's that.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
There's that element of it, right, which is problematic. Like if you have some sort of government official that works for the NSA and you've somehow screwed them over and they're holding a grudge, you better believe they're reading your shit, right? But then there's also the element of people who might want to push forth any type of political change, question authority. If you know governmental officials are reading your personal information and you're like, in some sort of salacious relationship or something, you're going to be intimidated. That kind of stuff is going to get leaked. But I don't know. I mean, based on stuff we've talked about in like the past 2 weeks, apparently leaking that kind of stuff is okay. So maybe you guys don't really give a shit.
But look, this is not theoretical. Private contractors already targeted Glenn Greenwald, and that was before he broke the Snowden story.
You don't even need to know about anything else. All you need to know, your example can be Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a private contractor. He just chose to break the whole story rather than just break all the personal information that he could have gotten. I mean, he already, if you want to take the anti-Snowden argument, he did the very thing that we're worried about people doing, except he did it for an okay reason.
Right. If he wanted to, he could have been a celebrity hacker.
Totally.
He was a private contractor. He could have gone in there and
Might have been.
Right, we don't know,
maybe
right?
he is,
Yeah,
right? No, but look, finally, Snowden, this goes to show you again what an American hero he was. We would have never known about any of this if it wasn't for Snowden. And then to say that what Snowden revealed was irrelevant and he's just did it so he can help Russia or Hong Kong or whatever insane theories that they have is ridiculous. This is exactly what we should know about our government. The guy who let us know about it is Edward Snowden. That is a whistleblower. That is an American hero, not someone who should be in hiding next to Vladimir Putin. Okay? Get him back home. Of course, Obama would never do that because he's a coward and he kind of likes big government like this, and he likes the police state and snooping in on our lives, and he loves every military contractor he's ever seen and loves all of it. And whoever's going to replace him, whether it's Hillary Clinton or a Republican, is also going to love it. So this is going to go on until we throw all these goddamn bums out and get real change in America.